Minister, good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Barry.
4 deaths in the past week, 2 funerals in consecutive days now. That's sure to test the nation's resolve on Afghanistan.
It will, and it has. Because of my overseas travel, I wasn't able to attend the Marcus case and the Jones funeral. But again, our hearts go out to those families. Of course, we've recently also seen Brett Wood's funeral, and we'll have Rowan Robinson's funeral in the course of the next week or so. So, yes, that's reverberated through the Australian community, and people are entitled to ask the question why we are in Afghanistan, but we continue to very strongly believe that under a United Nations mandate, together with a 48-strong international security assistance force, that it remains in our interest to be in Afghanistan to help stare down international terrorism and to make sure that international terrorism doesn't again become a breeding ground in the Afghanistan-Pakistan border area. So our resolve remains strong, but we understand that the funerals and the fatalities will send a shudder through the Australian community, but we also have to steel ourselves for the potential of further casualties and fatalities into the future.
The way that Angus Houston put it, he said it would be silly to start withdrawing now anyway because more progress is being made right now than ever before. In what way? In what way are we progressing?
Well, we share that assessment. The regrettable reality is that it's only been in the last 18 months or so where we've had, in Australia's view, the military and the political strategy to get the job done in Afghanistan, together with the resources to effect it and the personnel on the ground. I've made the point ever since the parliamentary debate, shortly after I became Defence Minister, that the position we're in now is regrettably 5 or 6 years too long, and that view is shared internationally. It's taken the international community a long time to get to where we are, but we have made much more progress over the last 18 months in terms of military or combat enforcement, in terms of taking and holding ground and putting pressure on the Taliban. But we have to continue that. This will be a tough fighting season, but as we make military and combat or security progress, we also need to make progress on the economic and social front, because in the end the solution in Afghanistan won't be a military or combat solution alone. It requires a political solution, and the more successful the combat or enforcement actions are, then the more likely it becomes that notions such as political settlement, reintegration and rapprochement come to the fore, and we've seen some very early signs of that in recent times.
Yes, and yet Angus Houston said in a magazine article published at the weekend that the progress is being made, but it's fragile and reversible. And coincidentally, Leon Panetta, the incoming Defence Secretary in the United States, used precisely that language this week, fragile and reversible.
And that's the sort of language that Australia has used. It's the sort of language that we continued to hear in the course of the last few days when I was in Brussels at the NATO ISAF, the International